like to call this meeting of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District Board of Education to order. Superintendent, if you can call roll, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Reed.
Here.
Mr. Charlam Shurla.
Here.
Ms. Larrett.
Here.
Ms. Lofthouse.
Here.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you, and I will make a quick announcement before we adjourn into closed session. Our Zoom platform is not working, so I do advise folks that are Zooming in to go to YouTube. But at this time, we will not be able to hear any questions via Zoom. Thank you, and we will adjourn into closed session where we will hear personnel matters, student matters, employer-employee relations, conference with legal counsel, and conference with real property negotiators. With that being said, good evening. Today is Thursday, March 20th. I'd like to call this meeting of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District Board of Education to order. Superintendent, if you can call roll, please.
Yes, sir. Ms. George.
Here.
Mr. Merrill.
Here.
Mr. Reed.
Here.
Mr. Charlam Shurla.
Here.
Ms. Larrett.
Here.
Ms. Lofthouse.
Here.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
All are present.
All right, thank you. With that, we will do the land acknowledgement.
As the Folsom Cordova Unified School District, we acknowledge that our administrative facilities and schools occupy the unceded territory of the Nishnawin and Miwok, the original people of the skies, land, and waters, where we work and learn.
We also recognize the presence and ancestral stewardship of the Nishnawin ancestral tribes, the Esto-Nodomuse and Nisim Pewanan to the north,
And the Miwok ancestral tribes, the Amachumni, Consumne, Halapune, and Mokalumne to the south along the Great Sacramento River systems since time immemorial.
We understand that this land upon which our institutions are built was once flourishing with natural resources and sustained by the ancestral knowledge and practices of these indigenous communities.
We acknowledge the injustices of colonialism and attempted genocide that have impacted these communities and recognize the resilience of their descendants who continue to thrive today.
In our daily endeavors of teaching, learning, leadership, and community engagement, we commit to supporting, respecting, and honoring their culture, traditions, and lifeways.
We pledge to work together for the evolving vision of the Miwok and the Nishinan, especially all future generations.
Right. And no, yes, your daughter, Celia, if we can have her lead us in the pledge, it's a birthday present from us.
Do you know how to do that? Yeah, okay.
If you can come up to the, here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am. And again, happy birthday. All right. This is going to be a little wonky doing this broadcast statement, but just to let you folks know that we are experiencing technical difficulties with our Zoom. At this time, we will not be taking any comments online until we can get it fixed, and I don't know if we will be able to get it fixed tonight. So on behalf of the board, my apologies for that. A broadcast statement and recording is being made in the direction of the board, and the broadcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Tonight's meeting is being live streamed on the district's YouTube channel. The recordings will be cablecast as replays on Metro Cable Channel 14, the Local Government Affairs channel on Comcast and DirecTV U-verse cable systems. The recording will also be closed caption and video streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. The Folsom Cordova Unified Board Policy 1313 promotes mutual respect and civility and orderly conduct among employees, parents, and the public. We will treat staff, parents, and members of the public with respect and ask the same in return. If any member of the public uses obscenities or communicates in a demeaning, loud, insulting, and/or demeaning manner, the board will calmly and politely admonish the person to communicate civilly. Public comments during board meetings are an important component of public engagement and transparency. Members of the public will not be permitted to yield their speaking time to another member. All written communications submitted by 3 p.m. today to the board have been read per the Brown Act and is not allowed to enter into a two-way discussion on any matter not on the agenda. All right. With that being said, we'll go to item D, District Recognition Month, Women's History Month. Superintendent?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I am incredibly excited to welcome two Longhorns and their principal, and I think I see a couple Longhorn moms there. Thank you so much for being here to talk to us about celebrating Women's History Month.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson, take us away.
All right. Well, good evening, board. I am truly, truly honored to introduce Olivia Membray and Cameron Mascow. We have been in Mrs. McHale's room and Mrs. Hurleman's room. We've been working on women's history and really the impacts that it makes. So these wonderful ladies came up with these speeches today, a couple of days ago, and about 5 minutes ago. Just kidding. So take it away.
Good evening, Superintendent Swanson and members of the board. My name is Cameron Massapel. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a lawyer and a Supreme Court justice. Most people considered her as a feminist icon and a champion of equality. Some challenges she faced were graduating high school when her mom died the day before. Her husband also got cancer and she had to face gender discrimination, but she took that sadness and made it into determination to achieve her dreams. Ruth inspires me when I'm at school, on the soccer field, and while playing piano. She helped me learn that I can achieve my dreams if I try hard. Ruth had strength through high school, which inspires me to be strong in anything I do. Studying women history is important because they made a difference in our lives and futures.
All right.
Good evening, Superintendent Swanson and members of the board. My name is Olivia Membrere. Frida Kahlo was a Mexican painter who was famous for her self-portraits, symbolism, and surrealism. Frida Kahlo went through lots of challenges, both physically and mentally, such as having chronic pain, infertility, depression, and many injuries and sicknesses. Frida Kahlo inspired others through her powerful art, resilient spirit, and unapologetic self-expression. She pushed through challenges and still became a successful woman. Frida inspires me in my art of dance by reminding me that I can stay strong during practice and being on stage. She inspires me through her art because her work is beautiful and inspirational, and it inspires me in my art of dance to be strong and powerful. It's very important to learn about women in history because it can help you learn more on how women helped our future and how they inspired others and what they went through in their lives.
Appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you so much. That was very powerful, and I know it takes a lot of guts to come up here in front of us, but we applaud you and we appreciate you, okay? All right.
I have to stand corrected, Longhorn teachers.
Yes,
There we go.
absolutely.
And Longhorn moms. Yeah, I saw the camera. So, okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you. Excellent job, teammates. Good job.
Mr.
right.
President, do we want to take a picture?
Absolutely. Can we get a picture before you leave? Can we get a picture? Thank you, Board Member Reed.
Yes. Yeah, go. Go on. You got it. You got it. Stay right there.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to item number 5, reporting out of closed session, Superintendent.
Nothing to report.
All right, item 6, adoption of agenda.
I'll make motion to adopt the agenda unless anybody has anything.
Mr. President, I believe it was item Q, I think that we wanted to pull.
We'll adopt the agenda first and then
yeah.
move to item
Sorry.
7.
Yeah, I'm ahead
The
of the
consent, no worries.
I'm really trying to move it through.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll second.
All right, moved by Mr. Shalin Cherla, second by Board Member Lofthouse. Superintendent?
Ms. George,
Aye.
Mr. Merrill,
Aye.
Mr. Reed,
Aye.
Mr. Charlon-Churla,
Aye.
Ms. Larrett,
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse,
Aye.
Mr. Clark.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, sir. Item 7, agenda consent.
Okay, I will move with the one item that we're pulling, which I think was Q, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Q.
All right.
You're making a motion? Okay, I'll second.
All right. Moved by Ms. Larrett, second by Mr. Shalin Cherla. Superintendent?
Ms. George,
Aye.
Mr. Merrill,
Aye.
Mr. Reed,
Aye.
Mr. Charlon-Churla,
Aye.
Ms. Larrett,
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse,
Aye.
Mr. Clark.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to item Q.
Let's go with, yeah, I was gonna do the introduction, but we can do Q
Oh,
first.
yeah, we do need to do the introduction. Let's do that real quick, and then we'll move to item Q.
Monica, come on up. So Folsom Cordova is pleased to announce Monica Hemrick as the new Educational Facilities Coordinator for the district. With a wealth of experience in the field of education and a commitment to fostering exceptional learning environments, Monica brings a dynamic blend of leadership and expertise to this role. With 30 years of experience in education, including roles as a classroom teacher and school principal, Monica has been dedicated to ensuring that students and staff have the resources and facilities needed to thrive. Monica holds a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies and a Master of Education in Educational Management. She has led numerous school improvement initiatives, facility upgrades, and campus modernization projects, all aimed at fostering engaging, student-centered learning environments. Quote, "I am honored and excited to take on this new role at FCUSD. I look forward to collaborating with district leaders, staff, and the community to create and maintain safe, innovative, and inspiring educational spaces that support student success. Monica's passion for education and dedication to excellence will help drive FCUSD's commitment to providing high-quality learning spaces for years to come." Welcome, Monica. Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. I look forward to stepping into this position, helping create this new role, and ultimately helping our district be the very best it can be. So thank you, and I'm ready to go.
All right. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
All right, with that being said, we will now move to item Q. Superintendent?
Yeah, this item is to approve the contractor lease back for a fencing project at Mather Heights Elementary, and I believe it was Trustee Larrett that wanted to pull this item for discussion.
Yeah, I just want to see if we can kind of go back on this one. It's a pretty high dollar amount, and I have some concerns about the actual location of the fencing. So I was just wondering if we can kind of go back a little bit on the drawing board and have a little more conversations with like the park district and things like that about the location of some of this fencing. So.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that, and I just need to ask if there's any other comments from the board or any questions of Mr. Washburn, since he's working his way up a little bit.
Matt, come on up.
Thank you. I just want to provide a little background on this. We did have our project manager had extensive conversation with Park and Rec about that. We actually relocated some fence off of our property line to give more area on the one park side, so we had more actual field for that. The pathway around that actually isn't even owned by us, so it actually is not owned by us, so we actually put it on our property line. If we actually were to utilize that, it would actually not even be our property. So we did provide a adequate pathway so that people can come from the neighborhood through around over to the park. We try to minimize as much as possible by moving the fence back as much as possible. And we did work with them on that. So, we're open to doing whatever with the park. We did work with them on that. We did try to provide access for it and move it off as far as we could away from the pathway. It's about 26 feet from that fence line where the homes are into our area. That's where the actual property line is. The assessor parcel map indicates where those lines are. So I just want to kind of give that backdrop information for that.
Yeah, I still kind of want to have a further
Yeah.
discussions on this.
Yeah, I totally
So-
agree. And Matt, I did have a question. When did we have our last conversation with Parks about this?
Well,
fencing?
not an official, we meet with them on specific projects. So we
Right.
met with them on this project as we did with the other fence projects with their park. So prior to doing this or incorporating these projects with them, we meet with the people specifically on that.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, if it's a consensus of the board, I think we should maybe table this until we can get a better feel of what's going on. I don't even think we need to move on this if we're going to table it. Just have to bring it back to the board and maybe bring it back as a discussion first, and then bring it back to.
Okay, is there any direction from the board on, would you like me to coordinate any sort of meetings, like with the facilities committee or anything related
Yes.
to this in parks?
Yeah, and Parks.
Okay,
I mean,
something along those
get
lines.
them
Okay.
on. Yeah, that'll work.
I also wouldn't mind asking if there's an alternative. Maybe it's not a choice between fence, no fence. Maybe there's an alternative where there's some more modest fencing where it's needed. And as we know, it's a very large property, so.
Okay,
Thanks, team.
all right. Thank you, sir. We will move right along. No special presentations. We do have presentations from staff. Superintendent?
Yes, we have a couple today, and I see some of the Ed Services team here. They're going to be presenting on our high reliability schools completion, which is quite an honor and really hard for some of our schools to meet these requirements. And so I'm excited to welcome it. It looks like both Lori and Angie and maybe even Jim to the lectern. No, Jim. Okay. Leaving it to the pros. Welcome, teammates.
Thanks. Good evening, Superintendent Swanson, School Board. It's been a while since I've been up here, so it's good to see all of you. Thank you for allowing us a moment for this evening to highlight some amazing work that is happening at our elementary, middle, and high schools in regards to high reliability schools. And I forgot the clicker. High reliability school is a school that prioritizes continuous improvement and effectiveness by implementing research-based strategies to ensure student success. This concept is based on the work of Dr. Robert Marzano, who adapted these principles from high reliability organizations, such as hospitals and air traffic control systems. Those are organizations that have to have like a high degree of reliability. And then he applied those to education. So the HRS instructional model is focused on continuous school improvement. It is not just an award or a program. It's a rigorous process that is committed to improving student learning. HRS addresses all FCUSD performance and process targets. Some of the leading indicators schools collect data on include safety, a collaborative culture, instructional practices, and job-embedded professional development, to name a few.
So why HRS? I'll let you read this, but while schools are all focused on building PLC structures and school culture, where schools are along the journey at all of our different schools throughout their district is going to be in different places. And so this structure allows schools to take their journey in the same path, but at different times. It allows flexibility so that schools can move from one level to the next, and we'll show you the levels in just a second. And then once they're able to prove effectiveness at one level, then and only then are they able to move to the next level. So I see you getting ready to click. Research shows that before a school can move to ensuring quality instruction in every classroom or ensuring that every child's level of proficiency is measured with effective assessments, we must first ensure that the school environment is safe, that it's collaborative, it's welcoming, and the student and staff and parents and families feel like they belong. And so we'll show you that that is the level one. So the HRS framework also forces us to be more intentional with those new initiatives, to make sure we implement them deeply, effectively, that we use data to make sure that we've used them correctly before we move on to the next shiny object. So these are the 5 levels. The first level that I talked about is that safe, supportive, and collaborative culture, and we're going to show you which of our schools have proven that they are effective at this level. The next level is effective teaching in every classroom. This is when the school puts all their focus on what's happening in the classroom. Are the teachers using the strategies that are best suited for that teaching that the students need? And we have aligned our teacher evaluation system with this level 2 so that it works together seamlessly. So when we go in and we're looking at how our teachers are teaching and how students are learning, it will connect to the work our schools are doing in level 2. Level 3 is a guaranteed and viable curriculum. Level 4, standards reference reporting, and then 5, competency-based education. Our goal is to get our schools to level 3 and level 4. Didn't even look at my notes. Let me make sure I haven't left anything out. Hold on, before you go. Also, can you go back one? Before they go to the next level, they have to prove or improve. So if they can't prove based on the indicators that Marzano research sets forth, then they have to go back and improve in that area until they can prove it. I think that's it. Oh, and then once they do prove, so just because you go from level 1 to level 2, you're not done with level 1. You still have to continuously go back and prove that you are still a safe, supportive, and collaborative culture. And they do that with quick data checks, where in your initial study, you have to use more in-depth evidence, a lot more data. Once you've proven it the first time, then you just do quick data checks. Okay, thanks. All right, so over here in this drawer, that is strengthening our PBS programs, improving grading practices, embedded SEL, increasing parent engagement, improving attendance, standards-based learning, effective instructional strategies, learning targets, proficiency scales, tier 2 interventions, all there. Looks like my husband's top drawer. On the other side is where schools are taking all these initiatives and saying, what do we work on first? Like, how do we take these initiatives that are connected and work on them and implement them deeply and fully before we move on to the next initiative? So that's the other nice thing about this structure, is that it forces us to slow down, implement fully, make sure our socks are where our socks belong and that they all match, and then we move on to the next level.
I'm very excited. These are our schools who have completed level 1 certification. Cordova High School, Cordova Meadows, Mitchell Middle School, Vista del Lago, Navigator, Oak Chan, and Sutter Middle. Congratulations to these schools. For level 2 certified schools, the honors go to Folsom Middle School. Congratulations to them.
And so now, and if you do me a favor and read these quotes while I list off the names. Now we have these schools that are completely done with level 1, or no, I'm sorry, these are schools that are working now towards their level certification, level 1. And it's Folsom High, Natoma Station, Blanche Sprints, Mills, and Theodore Judah. So they are still doing the work to prove that, and they'll have to submit quite an extensive portfolio to Marzano Resources showing here's all the work we're doing, here's proof. It'll include videos, surveys, parent surveys, student surveys, teacher interviews, videos of the collaborative teams actually doing that collaborative work. So they're doing this hard work now. And then schools that have now finished level 1 and that are working towards level 2 are Cordova High, Vista del Lago, Sutter, Navigator, Oak Chan, and Cordova Meadows. And then the school that is the, we would call them the lead grunion in this work is Folsom Middle School, and they have started level 3. And this is our Cordova teachers. You can see they felt so accomplished. I was lucky enough to be with them when they received their certificate for level 1 because it was such hard work, and just being able to prove that they were doing the right work and that they had the evidence to show it. So we'd just like to congratulate all our schools, and we'd love to share more with you about HRS schools. I think it's a pretty exciting thing that's happening to our schools.
All right. Thank you so much. Were there any questions from the board on this presentation? And by the way, it was a great presentation on HRS. I have one question, and it was probably back on page 5, probably 6. I'm real big on parent engagement, and I know we have our summits, we have our data walks, but what other steps are you taking to make sure that we have more parent engagement?
You want to answer that?
That would be up to the individual school sites. So they work through this process on their own, and they involve the staff as well in the discussions around those. So I would have to look at all the indicators to see exactly which one would fit with that, but they would absolutely involve their own staff to be helping with more parents on campus.
So an indicator might be for level 1 that parents are regularly involved in decisions made at the school. And so how the school proves that and what evidence they use would be up to the school. And if they don't have enough evidence, then it's kicked back to them and said, we need to see more evidence that this is occurring on a consistent basis. So they would show things like the meetings they have or the events that they have that bring parents onto the sites and how parents are involved in local decision-making.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. We're on to number 2, addressing intensive literacy needs at Mills Middle School.
Yeah, so thank you so much. I really appreciate the last presentation for bringing up the performance and process targets. And we'll welcome Principal Dana Kerrigan and her team up to the microphone. Before they jump into this amazing work that's been happening at Mills, I just want to bring to the board's attention is, you know, we talk about 1% better each day, right, YK? That's something that we've talked about. And also we talk a lot in improvement science about change ideas. And Mills is going to talk more about a change idea they had to intervene for young people around literacy, which is, of course, a 3rd grade literacy target, but obviously literacy throughout the grades is paramount for student success to and through school and beyond. And then our collective commitment around adapt, adopt, and abandon practices, something that is addressed here in this presentation. So Principal Karen, take it away. We're really excited to celebrate this success with you guys.
We've been looking forward to it. So thank you very much, and good evening, President Clark and fellow board members, Superintendent Swanson. I'm Dana Kerrigan, principal at Mills Middle School, and with me tonight I have our 2 instructional coaches, Paige B. Scow and Sarah Kirby Gonzalez. So if you bear with me, I'm going to read our introduction, which is the rationale that you have. At Mills Middle School, we recognize that literacy is the foundation for student success across all content areas. Over the past year, we have implemented an intensive intervention program during our flexible intervention period to address the significant literacy challenges faced by many of our students. This presentation will provide an overview of the urgent literacy needs within our student population and the measurable impact of our targeted intervention efforts. We will outline the data-driven process used to identify the initial group of 108 students in need of intensive literacy support, as well as the criteria for adding new students as other students demonstrate proficiency and transition out of the program. Additionally, we will provide insight into our decision to incorporate the SIPS, which stands for Systematic Instruction in Phonological Awareness, Phonics and Sight Words program, emphasizing the critical role of phonics instruction in building foundational reading skills for struggling readers. Most importantly, we will share the results after 1 full year of implementation, highlighting student progress and the effectiveness of our intervention strategies. By presenting this data and our ongoing efforts, we aim to demonstrate how strategic, research-based interventions can lead to significant literacy gains and improved academic outcomes for our students. Finally, we are grateful for the superintendent's performance targets and the recent board resolution on our district's commitment to literacy, which show how seriously that the district is taking this issue. All right, first slide here. You'll see on the right that that was one of our SIPSA goals from the 2023-24 school year, and it simply read that we wanted to increase student learning across all content areas. Well, our CASP scores from that spring of 2023 did not look so good. You can see we had 5 subgroups that were in the red, and not only were they in the red, but all 5 of those subgroups had actually declined from the previous year. 2 of those subgroups, African American and students with disabilities, were also in ATSI at the time, which stands for Additional Targeted Intervention and Supports, which means that those subgroups were performing in the bottom 5% of all students in Title I schools in the state of California. So I brought on 2 instructional coaches that year, and we sat down and we said, what are we gonna do about this? We've got a problem, a really big problem. And also, overall that year in English, the school was also in red.
All right, so we used our Renaissance diagnostic data from August to get started, and we had 317 students that were in need of urgent intervention, which is the red band on that graph. So we dug into multiple measures. We looked at their grades, we looked at their CASP scores and their historical Renaissance data. We also removed students who were already receiving intensive reading intervention in their day. And that still left us with 250 students that we needed to dig down deep and specifically target the area of reading that they were struggling with. And so we partnered with the curriculum and instruction team, and they had a spelling screener that we used. We used a K2 screener that we thought was going to be too low, but it actually identified 108 students that were in need of basic foundational skills, specifically in phonics. So that led us to identifying SIPS as the curriculum we were going to use for our intervention.
Okay, and then as the first step, we took all that data that Paige just shared with you, and we shared it with our entire staff at a staff meeting across departments, because we believe no matter what you teach at Mills Middle School, we all have a collective responsibility to support literacy. And then we asked, who will help us with this pilot? We think we have a program that will work well, and we want to address this problem. And we had teachers raise their hand across our school. We had a math teacher, we had science teachers, we had history teachers, we had special education teachers. And then we brought in the CNI team to help us train them, because this was a little different than the skills they were hired to teach with, right? And so they went through training on how to teach the SIPS program. We moved their classes around so that we could maximize their schedules and have 4 days a week to teach the program. And then we hit the ground running at the end of January and started teaching. I won't go into the 2 graphs unless you ask me to at the end, but basically what they told us as we were progress monitoring was, yes, this was the right work. This was a program that was showing growth with our kids, but we needed more time. The end of January till the end of the year was not enough time to really get our kids up to speed. So what we did then was we determined all of the students that were in the program who'd be returning as 7th and 8th graders would stay in the program. We'd be ready to go in August instead of having to wait till January. And then we reached out to all of our 5th graders, teachers, to have a continuum of services, to say, where are your students? We gave them that same screener. Paige and I hand scored them all to see who was identified to be in this program. And right away in August, thanks to the work of our counselors, we were ready to go serving all of our students.
This is historical data we gathered on the original 108 students to really make sure that we were targeting the subgroups that Principal Kerrigan shared on the first slide. And what really caught our eye is the top graph for English language status. That green bar that's not labeled is initially proficient, meaning yellow, green, and blue altogether represent multilingual learners that are in this program. And then the other one that really surprised us was the bar graph down at the bottom. Being at Mills for a really long time, I think we always assumed that our reading struggles were due to our transient population. And what we found were that the most students in our program have been here since kindergarten, first, second, and third grade.
So as I told you, we started right away in August. This is this school year plan, and we had 97 students we identified that we were supporting in the program. What was different about this year is we were able to be really strategic and start that ongoing progress monitoring right away to assess our students and how they were doing throughout. And then Principal Kerrigan supported this work by allowing us to have monthly meetings where we could bring the teachers together, paid, and they could go through the data. We could talk about what's working, and we could see, do we need to make changes as we continuously work to improve our program.
And then December was the most exciting month. We got to exit 44 of our original 64 7th and 8th graders that started with us. They demonstrated mastery due to the exit criteria that we have identified. January, we had 7 new students enter the program due to teacher referrals. We currently are serving 60 students, and a big shout out to Kenny Prospect who have come alongside us with this work, and they provide a continuation of services for our students who go back and forth between our sites.
And back to the slide that I showed you at the beginning on the left, where we had all 5 subgroups in the red, and as a school, we were overall in the red. Then 1 year later, spring of 2024, all 5 of our subgroups moved out of the red and into the orange, and as a school, we moved from red to yellow. We also modified our SIPSA goal last year to focus on those subgroups that are historically marginalized and underserved, such as our English learners and our students with disabilities, and got real specific about how we are going to improve reading levels for these specific groups.
Okay, and we know we like to hear student voice and hear from our kids, not just in the data, but also in what they have to say. We did a lot of surveys with our kids, and over 86% of students self-reported that they felt that they had improved as a direct result of the SIPS intervention. This is just a handful of our kids at our celebration as they were exiting. And we're gonna listen to a short clip from Serenity Hunter, who I had the joy of teaching last year, and this year she's with the fabulous Miss Code. And she'll share with you directly her view.
Hi, my name is Serenity. I am in 7th grade, and I have been in this district since I was in kindergarten, and I have came here to talk to you guys about SIPS for the real word is the Reading Academy. Basically, how I feel about this Reading Academy, short for SIPS, is I feel like it has helped me more, basically it's helped me more with new things. Last year I didn't really know how to read. I didn't know how to spell or anything. And I tried to, but wasn't really helped. So once I came to this school, they helped me make sure I was getting better with my grades and everything. So these teachers are really nice, and they have helped me, and I am so proud of myself for graduating SIPS. And my first screener that I did, I had got a 53%. I had got 53%. It was very low, but I knew that something told me that I could do better, so I kept trying. And then my next one, I had got a 60%. And once I got the 60%, I was even more proud of myself because I was like, oh, I'm getting better and I'm actually upgrading. And then my last one, I got a 98%, and I was pretty proud of myself because I wasn't sure if I could really do it, and I actually did, and I graduated out. Hi, my name is Serenity.
She's so fun. We'll just keep listening.
And then this was just a little bit more student voice. We, like Sarah said, have surveyed our students a couple of times. So on one side, you have what they started, SIPs, how they were feeling. And remember, we had done this in January. We changed their classes. We took them out of their advisory classes, put them in a new one. They were not overly happy. But now, currently, how they feel about SIPs, overwhelmingly okay, mid. Remember, for middle schoolers, that's a good thumbs up in our book.
All right, so moving forward. So our Tier 3 SIPS intervention is just one piece of the literacy puzzle that we have at Mills. As a school site, we are focusing on Tier 1 instruction and strengthening our Tier 2 supports. Some of the ways we're doing that is utilizing our professional development days and staff meeting time each month. We're also implementing Maria Nielsen's 15-day challenge as a staff. This fall, we are going to move into the new art and science of teaching and model of instruction. And as Mrs. Director Emmington had mentioned, we are in level 1 of high reliability schools, and our timeline is to apply for level 1 certification this summer. We also are continuing to foster a culture of literacy at our school. That's very important to us and at home. And so we do book giveaways with kids and also with parents at our parent meetings. We do professional developments with our parents at our ELAC meetings. And then we also have our wonderful community school liaison, Mrs. Lane, who's here tonight, who created a YouTube channel. And we have recorded videos and uploaded them to the YouTube channel on ways that parents can support their student at home in both reading and math. And finally, we would not have had the success that we have had if it wasn't for our amazing Mills teachers and instructional aides who have dedicated their time 4 days a week for this past year and more to help these students learn how to read, which is an essential life skill. So huge shout out to our Mills teachers who I believe are watching tonight and our instructional aides. And that concludes our presentation. Angie, I believe. Boy, I love your outfit.
Thank you. I just want to give a huge shout out to the Mills team. When they brought this presentation to C&I last year, it brought me to tears. And I just want to say thank you to Sarah and Paige and Dana and all of the hard work of all of these individuals for helping students. You've just heard about the challenges that some of our students face when they enter middle school without reading fluency at grade level. So I'd like to kind of round this presentation out and share the work we're currently leading and supporting in elementary to ensure more students are prepared for success. So we know that reading is the foundation for all learning, and our district has made significant shifts to strengthen literacy instruction. We have heavily invested in high-quality professional development based on the science of reading. 178 teachers are fully trained in a comprehensive 2-year letters program. 75 more teachers are in the process of completing either year 1 or year 2. 23 more teachers have completed Aspire, that is for grades 4 through 8, with 14 more enrolled this year. We have in early childhood education letters. Yep, we are getting our preschool teachers in as well. 8 teachers have been trained with 25 more teachers currently enrolled. Also, teachers can opt into the early childhood education if they are a TK or kindergarten teacher. And then total, that's 320 teachers that have been trained in letters. As you may already know from some of my previous board reports, letters is a research-based program that deepens the teacher's understanding of how students learn to read. But knowledge isn't itself enough. We've also added instructional coaches to support teachers in bringing best practices into the classroom every day in our Title I schools and our middle schools. Another key shift has been aligning our core instruction with the science of reading. So in grades K through 2, we have implemented UFly. That will be something that all teachers will use next year as part of their core instruction. We spent a lot of time training over the past 2 years to get everybody up to speed, and that is a structured phonics curriculum that explicitly builds foundational literacy skills through multisensory approach. And research has shown that engaging the multiple senses, so you're seeing it, you're hearing the sounds, you may be making some movements around it, that helps students form stronger neural connections and making learning to read even easier and more effective and lasting. For grades 3 through 5, we use SIPs, and this team did a good job explaining that, so I'll spare you that part. And then finally, we recognize that the transition from elementary to middle school is critical. So to bridge that gap, this year we'll be implementing transition meetings between 5th and 6th grade for all schools, and that will ensure that student need is clearly articulated from the elementary school into the middle school. And lastly, I just want to say that reading success is not left up to chance, and you can see that by the presentation tonight. It's built through intentional, research-based instruction, dedicated teachers, and a system of support that extends from early elementary all the way through middle school. We are committed to this work because every student in our district deserves to be a capable and confident reader. Thank you.
That was amazing. I enjoyed the presentation, and if the SIPS team is out there, I'm going to give a shout out and just say job well done. I mean, this is amazing. And Dana, when I went out there to Mills and I said, what's new and exciting? You didn't mention this. But that's okay. I mean, this is exciting to hear about this. And you know, Miss Serenity, who gave her testimonial, I'm pretty sure there's going to be more students that'll be able to talk about what this program has done for them as far as their self-confidence and, you know, their reading. So kudos to you and your team. You guys are the best, and I look forward to coming out and checking out that program. Were there any other comments from the board?
Yeah, so I've literally been hyping you guys like all year long because like every time I'm like, Mills is like where it's at. They are amazing. Every time I go there, there's just such an intention of like really supporting the students, and you just can really feel that there's like a high level of care that's there. I love our community schools team that's there, but it just is like when you go there, you can just tell that the teachers are all just super engaged with the students, and that the kids are really thriving. And really, from what I'm hearing in the community too, the rumblings are like, hey, like Mills is where it's at. Like, I mean, there's a lot of really good positive things that are out there in the community that's reflecting all the work that you do. So just wanted to like give like our shout out to you guys that it is like very like seen, all the work that you're doing, and just super appreciate you guys. So.
Any other comments?
Yeah, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
My favorite thing about this presentation was the amount of people I actually saw in it. Like, I mean, all these teachers, the students that were actually in it. I really like that anecdotal piece because sure, you can gas up the program all you want. You could talk about how good it is, but in reality, it's actually the teachers that are, you know, making it get done, and it's the students that are also getting it done. So I really appreciate the human touch in this and how many faces I actually saw because, you know, you were balancing the statistics with the actual anecdotal evidence, and I really appreciate that.
All right, thank you, sir.
One last one, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
As a middle school trained teacher, later learning letters and SIPs, it is like a completely different language teaching it. So not only did these teachers put in a ton of effort and energy into learning a program, but it truly is like learning a different language. And then being able to execute it in such a successful way is huge and speaks volumes to the support they had, so.
And anyone else? I did have one request. You said there was a YouTube channel. Is it possible to send us that link? I'd love to see it. I think the whole board would probably like to see it. All right, perfect. Yeah, we'd like to check it out.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. All right, we are moving on. And it looks like we are into public comment. Time will be given to speakers at the discretion of the board chairperson. The law allows the public to address the board on any matter not on the agenda. The law prohibits action by the board on non-agenda items. So with that being said, we will call our first speaker. And it is Sharon Kalapruna. Hopefully I didn't butcher that.
Yes.
I did. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Board members, and my name is Chirant Kalyanpura, and I'm a parent of fifth grader Veer Kalyanpura at Goldridge Elementary in Folsom. I'm here to voice many parents who wanted to connect today on Zoom, but due to technical difficulty, they could not. But there are 15 parents watching us online, so I'm here to on behalf of all of them as well. So the concern is about the math placement test for fifth graders wanting to go into the accelerated math pathways in middle school. I know the school district has good intentions at heart for changes to these programs, but you all agree with me that it's announced pretty late, February 2025, around that time, and implementation of transition part of the plan was not executed smoothly and well informed way. So it was still being refined and fine tuned until the last couple of weeks. Also, criteria for placement test was based on the past tests, which happened in December, which cannot be influenced anymore. Many students qualify for honors math but got blindsided since elimination of honor math and higher required level in CASP and STAR test to qualify for taking placement test were not communicated by the school from beginning of the school year. So in fact, teachers and principal did not know about it. Thus, importance of STAR test was not given from the start, and it happens that many bright kids won't even have a shot to take the placement test. So thus, they can't get into accelerated math until high school now, since the middle school is also removing challenge tests. So, which is in result will make them fall behind to compete with for good colleges in the future. So our ask, we request a board to allow at least placement tests for all fifth graders who opt in. So extension for timeline by few weeks would be nice to have. It's not likely they're gonna get one full grade smarter in few weeks, right? So that's one of the ask. Only deserving will proceed, but at least they would have their best shot. So that's the whole intention. This is very important and fair ask since they won't have challenge test until high school. I sincerely hope board members will do the best to accommodate this. Thank you for your attention, everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, we are on Faith Smith. Please know for the record that she is a student and we are allowing her 4 minutes.
Hi, my name is Faith Smith. I've lost track of the number of times I've come up here, but I have not lost track of the time it's taken to create change in this district. This upcoming audition during the first week of April will be my 4th time auditioning for the jazz program at Folsom High School. Last time I was here, I spoke about the audition process not being seen anywhere. I've now seen the audition process, which was posted March 10th last Monday. It reads, in the beginning, it says, "The audition process is an assessment to help determine what level of music will be selected for the jazz ensembles. Just do your best, stay relaxed, and focus. Wishing you the best of luck." This tells me that no one will be denied anymore, which should have been the case from the very beginning 3 years ago. Well, not only 3 years ago, but 40 years ago. However, on the website where it tells what dates the auditions are, it says, Monday, March 31st, winds, piano, and guitar. Tuesday, April 1st, voice. Wednesday, April 2nd, brass, drums, and bass. It does not say all instruments, meaning I cannot play violin in the jazz band still. I'm doing it at ARC, and I've talked to the professor at FLC who says that I can do it there too, so why can't I do it at Folsom High School? Even though there has been 2 violinists in the jazz program previously. Why is it only for select people? Why is that pathway still not open? Cal State Northridge says all instruments. UCLA says all instruments. Cal State San Diego says all instruments. UC Santa Cruz, New England Conservatory, Harvard, Stanford, Sac State, UC Davis, and UC Berkeley. And the list goes on. They all say all instruments can do jazz. So why does Folsom High School still not allow it? Why is it being limited and restricted? I'm gonna bring this up again. Why does the jazz program at Folsom High School feel they can limit someone else's culture? Not too long ago was Cultural Awareness Week at Folsom High School. Last year, it was called Culture Shock Week. Same with the year before. Last year, I was a part of the Cultural Diversity Council, and we tried to get the name changed. They said they could change it right away for that year, but comes time for that week, and it ends up still being called Culture Shock Week. I was extremely upset, and so were many other people that I knew, because why is it a shock that people have culture? So I asked why it wasn't changed, and they said, somehow word didn't get to the student government and they already put up posters for it. Can we not take posters down? Apparently not, because they still went through with it and didn't address it. So I'm sure many people still think calling it Culture Shock Week was appropriate. And by they, I mean the principals and the counselors. Why does Folsom High School not recognize other people's cultures? I'm glad it's now called Cultural Awareness Week, but it really says a lot that it was never questioned before, and it wasn't even resolved right away when attention was brought to it. Instead, it was brushed off. I thought school was for learning, and yet it wasn't addressed that it was not appropriate, which is how history repeats itself. I mean, what's the point of creating a new name if that new name is offensive? Did we not learn from history? Is that the culture of Folsom High School? To ignore other people's cultures because that's what it seems like, especially for the jazz program. Many people know who Duke Ellington is. If you don't, he is an extremely well-known pianist and composer, known specifically for jazz. Duke Ellington had Stuff Smith in his band. And you know what Stuff Smith played? Violin. They're both Black, so jazz is a part of their culture. It's a part of my culture. And yet your high school wants to dictate my culture. Is that what this district's about? Or is it about giving students an education and helping them get to where they want to be? Thank you.
Right. Oh my. This brings me back to my middle school years looking at this. Yes, next is, and thank you, Faith. Next is Earl Smith.
You cannot have those books. I'm sorry. Mr. President, Board, Mr. Swanson. The purple book you regularly see on Amazon for about $800. I got lucky. I find it when it's used for 20 bucks. The purple book, and I'm showing for YouTube to see, because I teach music privately. I graduated from Cal State Northridge Jazz School. I started at the Bob Cole Conservatory of Music. I'm strongly educated in both classical and jazz. Privately, I've studied with many of the great jazz musicians by luck, including Alphonse Mouzon. If you recognize on the cover of these books, David Baker is the first jazz education individual to educate or to put education material for people to study jazz in America. He's Black. His wife was white. Everything you see in those books was handwritten by his amazing wife. Together, they were an amazing team. This is American history. I asked you, Mr. Clark, or President Clark, Miles Davis or Charlie Parker? Your answer was Charlie Parker. So can you go to page 117? And if you look on all the beginning, on the front page of all these books, it says either for all instruments or all musicians. So on page 117, and I'm trying to hurry, this section, it talks about blues. There's two types of jazz, 12-bar blues and rhythm changes. Everything forms from these two formulas. This section specifically talks about 12-bar blues. On page 117, you have Charlie Parker's piece called Now's the Time. This is the improv. It says, treble clef, C instruments. Flute is in Folsom High's jazz band. It is not a traditional jazz instrument, but they accept it. That's a C instrument. Piano is a C instrument. Bass is technically a violin. It's a large violin. That's a C instrument. Violin is a C instrument. You turn the page, it is the exact same improv that's been dictated. It says for B flat, saxophone. Clarinet is also a B flat instrument. Williams would not let one of the students who didn't get to go to Gin play clarinet. Turn the next page. E flat instrument. This proves any instrument, including violin, can play any part in a jazz big band. Any part. So why are they denying? Or is this another sign of retaliation that the CDE made the finding of? Because they had it before. The picture's on the booster website. Why must I re-register her to audition? I can't find the policy. Please, Mr. Swanson, show me the policy. I haven't moved. Sherwood Apartments. It is my right, it is her right to go to Folsom High. I want to see first a culture or her go through an audition process and not be retaliated against before I come back and commit. I'm scared. I'm still waiting to see if there's going to be compliance from the district based on the order. I haven't received anything. The gold star, it looks great, but I know that's a result of that order because it says you must train the entire district on retaliation. You must. But I have no faith as what has Principal Cadenhead done regarding this order? Is William still here? Is the district going to allow teachers to abuse children and there's no consequences?
Gotta wrap it up.
I'm almost done. So please show me the policy. I'm willing, we've been here, everyone. I'm gonna fight this till the end. I have a lot of faith in you, Mr. Swanson, but others in this district, I don't, and I'm scared. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. No, this is interesting. I'm serious. I mean,
Videos you see, I don't play violin, but her jazz improv chops come from me. This book.
all right, thank you, sir. All right, we will move on to item 10, reports of district organizations. Student Advisory Board?
So today was the day that we released or rolled out the next year's SAB applications and student board member applications. So me and Van are almost done. So I already have kids texting me, asking questions on letters of rec, how to do this, how to do that. So it's exciting to see our district and all of our kids being super involved. And so they're gonna have 2 weeks to get their applications all in, and then student board members will be campaigning all of April. And then SAB is going to be the first people to know who our next board members are, and then we have a board meeting that day, so they'll probably get announced or introduced at that board meeting, so May 14th. And that is, yeah, it's crazy how fast everything's gone. And I was talking to one of my teachers, I think we have only like 4 more board meetings with us, so, and then the year's over, and so, yeah, and then that's all I have for SAB, and Van will talk about International Night.
So we're beginning to roll out our International Night planning and campaigns. We invited a bunch of staff members, admin from all the school sites, and members of district. We invited them to the May 7th That's when it is. It's at the Performing Arts Center at Cordova High. And we're expecting a large turnout this year. I mean, it's our 3rd annual international night. We've kind of been building up to this point, and I'm really excited to throw this big celebration of our district's diversity as kind of like a final goodbye to this district, me and Mia. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. We're expecting a bunch of performances, a bunch of people coming, and a lot of volunteers. That's where we really get the work done, are the volunteers. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things we're working on right now. It's very exciting.
Thank you. Next is the California School Employees Association.
Good evening. I apologize. Our president had to leave in a hurry. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Superintendent Swanson. MOUs 12, 13, 17, 18, 20 all go up for ratification next week at our chapter meeting. We will also be meeting with the district expecting a counteroffer. Finally, next Thursday, our union president will be participating at the Community Schools Collaborative Leadership Study Tour at Mills Middle School. This is a regional study tour hosting guests from the California Department of Education, SCOE, and districts in surrounding counties. We look forward to continuing to partner. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Ms. Lane. Folsom Cordova Education Association.
Good evening. Mr. Swanson, board members, family, staff, present online. I'm Tony Ruiz, teach English at Vista del Lago. Been in this district for 21 years, which frightens me. I'm also the FCA Director at Large for grades 9 through 12, and I'm filling in for Jeanette Sansenbach tonight. FCA appreciates the spirit of partnership and positive discussion that's taking place in this bargaining process, and we plan to continue the process in that spirit. Tonight, I just want to highlight some of the important points that I hope the district considers in this process. Our certificated staff shares our superintendent's vision and wants to work toward the goals that will help move our district in a positive direction. However, it is important to remember that it is the certificated staff who bear the brunt of the responsibility in making that vision a reality. And let's be frank, much of what we are charged with is in addition to our jobs as educators. Now take me, for example. I teach reading, writing, critical thinking to over 200 students a year. I'm an English teacher, appreciate the grading load that comes with that. I'm also the union rep at both the site level and on the exec board. I'm on the benefits committee, and believe me when I say that trying to navigate health benefits in 2025 is no small feat. But on top of all that, I'm also part of the district's grading task force, which is examining research to help ensure that our students are evaluated fairly, accurately, and equitably. I also recently took part in a committee that is looking at new online portals for credit recovery and virtual learning. There's also numerous trainings about the standards-based learning and grading, PLC work, the list goes on, and that's just me. Our certificated staff throughout the district are taking part in training after training, learning about new program after new program. High reliability schools, Marzano training, new art and science of teaching, building thinking classrooms, alternative ed reimagining, neighborhood schools, inclusion models, behavioral task forces. And on top of that, we have new graduation requirements coming with ethnic studies and a new financial literacy course. We have new state-mandated changes in how we administer independent study, which I don't know if you've seen how that's going to work. It's daunting to say the least. And we have the stress of never-ending changes to healthcare. So all of this on top of our daily workload. FCUSD asks a lot from their teachers and their staff. But maybe you're familiar with the saying that the more you are asked to do, the harder it is to do any of them well. The people doing this work have earned the expectation that they will be a priority. At the last board meeting, our calculations were shared as a way to be sure our counteroffer was reasonable and sustainable. We are well aware that while LCFF unrestricted dollars are the largest part of the general fund, they are not the only source of income. Lottery money, smart budgeting in categories that leaves money unspent at the end of the year, using estimates that include an assumption of healthcare costs, that maybe, up to half of our members, only half of our members actually use. The fact that some of our unit members are paid in part from title funds or grants. All these make these calculations an indicator, but not definitive. What we seem to have here is a philosophical disagreement as to how money is spent and what the priorities are. FCEA believes that there are other resources that can be put to use on items such as addressing any structural deficits that should never be rectified on the backs of the ones who are charged with carrying out the district's vision. The priority needs to be on serving the current students whose ADA brings these funds to our district. Appropriately paying the adults who work with the students is how we serve those that are currently under our care. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Folsom Cordova Leadership Association.
Good evening. Good evening, Superintendent Swanson, President Clark, esteemed members of the board, and honored guests. Before I start, a huge shout out if anybody's watching at Mills. That is amazing. Like, seriously, I actually wrote it in here before. So an amazing job. You guys are changing kids' lives. So very proud. On behalf of FCLA, it is with great pride that I recognize the outstanding achievements of two exceptional administrators within FCUSD and as acknowledged by the ACTS of Region 3 community. Firstly, I would like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to Amy Strawn, principal at Cordova High, for her well-deserved recognition as Administrator of the Year for Secondary. Amy's unwavering dedication and commitment to her students is truly inspiring. Her efforts have made a profound impact on our students and in the community in Rancho Cordova. So, and Dr. Huber and I were talking about this a little bit ago. It's just ongoing. It's just year after year. Amazing job. I would also like to congratulate Hunt Lynn, Coordinator of Special Education, for being honored as Administrator of the Year for Special Education. Hunt's exceptional leadership and unwavering dedication have made a significant impact on the lives of countless students and families. He's always been there. He is just an amazing leader, so we're truly lucky to have him. Congratulations to each of our esteemed colleagues for this well-deserved recognition, and a sincere thank you to everyone who has contributed to their success. Together, we continue to make profound differences in the lives of our students and all of our communities. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, sir. And the District English Learner Advisory Committee.
No report this evening.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll go on to item 11, Superintendent's Report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple items this evening. So Mia, that's the second time you're talking about the end of the road, and I'm not happy about that, all right? So cut it out. So, a little senioritis down there. Have college decisions been made? Yeah? Didn't I ask for you to share that?
Yeah, well, UC Davis came out March 7th, and I got in.
Go
Very
Aggies.
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last Friday, UC San Diego came out, and I also got in.
So do you know where?
Not yet,
Okay.
but I may be following Matthew's footsteps and
Yes,
attending
UC
UC San Diego. That's up there. So yeah, that's for me.
Are those the top two? You're deciding between the two of those?
No, not yet. There's still a few more
Okay.
coming out. There's still a few more coming out.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's nice to have choices. Mia?
So I did not end up applying to any UCs because I knew that I wanted to go out of state. And I heard back from Fordham. So that's in New York City. And that's where I want to go. And there's a few more colleges to select.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but Fordham is like number 2. So.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
So,
yeah, absolutely. They deserve that.
So I'll talk about my senior here in a second, but the board at CSBA, and so YK, sorry if this is new for you, we decided that we're gonna have a college hoodie night here at the dais. So you guys look at the board meetings. I mean, I hope it's not a 105-degree day outside, but you look, when you guys decide, and then what schools, make sure you get a hoodie, and then you tell us, and then we'll wear our college or any college hoodie, and we'll do a day of hoodies here at the
Mr.
dais.
Swanson.
Yes, ma'am.
Could we actually buy them their hoodies?
We can figure that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'll buy Vans if it's a Davis one, because that's where I went, but no, yeah, it'd be our pleasure, I'm sure. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you pick the date. And once you pick college, then you pick the date. We'll make that happen. Okay, perfect. So I just want to say thank you to Olivia and Cameron from Mangini that did Canaan step out. I said, every single cultural awareness celebration has brought tears to my eyes, and the pressure was on, and they did it. That was another one. It was incredible. Thank you to the HRS team and Mills and Ed Services. Way to go. That was a really amazing presentation. And in general, I've talked a little bit about, there is a natural sort of cycle in the school year that our educators, all classified and certificated administrators go through. And there's some highs and lows, and there's this predictable low sort of after the holiday season as we head into like deep winter. It's like low effectively. And we're just coming out of that because when spring comes around, we feel the difference. But I just have to say special thanks to our classified teammates and our certificated teammates and our administrators, everyone in this building and out in our schools in the community, all 3,000 employees, because to be honest, this is one of the very first years that I actually didn't feel that. It felt like this family here in this district really comes together and pushes through. And so now we're at this, as Mia thinks it's like she's ending tomorrow. There's still a little bit left to go, Mia, but we're usually the predictability as we get through this portion. When spring sprung, our attitudes, middle schoolers go a little wonky, but our attitudes get really a lot more positive because of the energy and the weather and all of that. So thank you to everyone for all that they do for our students. I will just say briefly, happy birthday to my youngest daughter out there. So I now don't have any children. I have a bunch of adults running around, a bunch of adult women in my life. So happy birthday. Yes, she's here on her birthday for her AP Gov class. So one of the things we say in Team Swanson, and if you had a mic, I'd make you say it, but is work hard, have fun, finish strong, Mia, finish strong. Did you hear that? Okay, so finish strong. So, and then lastly, I would ask the board, if you may, if you wouldn't mind convening this evening's meeting. And I have a bio. One of our esteemed colleagues, Paul Richards, passed away at 82 years old a couple days ago, actually yesterday, March 19th. I have a brief bio. I'll just read a couple lines from it. That Paul began his career as a drug counselor in the San Mateo Unified School District, later becoming a teacher, coach, and vice principal, where he influenced countless students until 1997, where his passion for education led him to Folsom High School, where he played a crucial role in the school's transition to its Iron Point Road campus. After initially retiring in 2005, Paul returned to serve as principal until 2008, leaving an incredible mark on the school and its community. So reflecting on his time at Folsom High, Paul once said, "I am most proud of the cooperative efforts of the students and staff to meet the challenges I posed to them and the fact that they have exceeded all of my expectations. The end result of all of the staff and students' hard work was the state's recognition as California's top performing high schools and national recognition as a silver medal school and being ranked among the top 3% of high schools in the country." So just wanna, if you would, if you don't mind, close the meeting in Paul's honor tonight.
Thank you, sir. Board Member Reed.
Yes. All right. We're not doing the students first?
Oh,
We just said our college decision.
I know you did. So let's go back. Student Board Member George.
I was just gonna talk a little bit about Folsom High School and things that were going on. I know I mentioned Acadeka before. They're at Santa Clara University right now for nationals or for state, I believe, but I just know that they left today, and so good luck to them. And then we had we had our international night at the last board meeting, and that one was the super long one, so I couldn't go. I heard it went well, and I heard everything went smoothly, and everyone was performing well, so hopefully that same happens for our international night as well. And then I believe that's all, and I will not mention how we're leaving again, so we'll mention that next time. That's all.
All right. Board Member Merrill.
Thank you. For my board member report, I'd like to put a spotlight on Cordova's spring sports, specifically the swim team and our volleyball team. Both of our teams have been doing very good this season. Despite only having like 4 boys on the swim team, we've really been putting in the work, and we've been trying hard against our new league opponents in the Metro League. And our volleyball team has actually done really well, especially in the tournaments they've played over the past 3 weeks. They've secured, it wasn't in the gold, like the bracket, whatever, but it was in the silver and bronze they secured first. So shout out to them. And they're, what's it called? I'm forgetting the word, but their track record so far is doing really good. So I'm happy of them. I'm proud of how sports at Cordova have evolved since I've been a freshman. I really see students getting more and more and more involved after COVID, and I'm really appreciating that because sports at Cordova, it's a pretty big thing, and I'm glad to see it grow. And our student government is hosting our spring rally tomorrow, actually at 1 o'clock. So you guys are all invited. I'm personally inviting all of you. And it's surprising that it's already spring, and I see all of these months going by, and I'm really appreciating how schools are managing the work, at least at Cordova High School. I feel like the school year so far has not been as drawn out in the past, and I think schools are doing better in supporting students and their overloading coursework, especially in the IB and AP classes. And yeah, so seeing that it's already spring and we're already doing a spring rally, it's blowing my mind. And finally, I want to talk to all the seniors out there. College apps are coming out, and some people are getting into their schools. Maybe your friends are, and maybe you're not. But I just wanted to say that college decisions don't define you as a person. There's a lot of luck involved, and just because you got rejected from your dream school does not mean you're going to get rejected from another school. And even though I kind of hate the saying, but it's really true. Rejection is redirection. Just because you're rejected doesn't mean your path and your college journey has ended. It's just redirecting you to where you truly belong. And I think everyone will end up where they belong. So I just want to let all the seniors out there know that. So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Merrill. Now, Board Member Reed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Van, you're absolutely right, and that's a great message to share with the seniors. I know it's a very stressful time, so thank you for making that statement. All right. In celebration of Irish American History Month, which is in March, I would like to read an excerpt from a famous Irish American. On January 20th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy stated within his inaugural address the following: "The world is very different now, for man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life. And yet the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Let the world go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans, unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed, and to which we are committed today at home and around the world. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. This much we pledge and more. To those old allies whose cultural and spiritual origins we share, we pledge the loyalty of faithful friends. United, there is little we cannot do in a host of cooperative ventures. Divided, there is little we can do, for we dare not meet a powerful challenge at odds and split asunder. To those new states whom we welcome to the ranks of the free, we pledge our word that one form of colonial control shall not have passed away merely to be replaced by a far more iron tyranny. We shall not always expect to find them supporting our view, but we shall always hope to find them strongly supporting their own freedom, and to remember that in the past, those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside. It's just an excerpt, again, January 20th, 1961. Even though these words are 64 years old, they might give us pause and allow us to reflect on its message, and ask ourselves if the truths contained therein still hold true today. That's my report.
Thank you, sir. Board Member Charlon Charla.
Shalom, Charla. Okay. I'll start with where Van just left off, redirecting those students. So that's a great message again. Just to add on to that one, I know if you spend so much time applying for your number one college or number two college or number three college, and if you are not getting it, yes, it will definitely put you into some unhappiness, some sad, and some don't go into the depression. That's very important. But I want to emphasize one thing. The success rate of your desired college, statistics shows under 50%. That redirection, when, once again, I want to repeat, a community college. Take the community college route, 2 years tuition fee, all the parents may be smiling right now, 2 years tuition fee, it's a general ad. Your success rate to your desired college, close to 80% to 85%. So that redirection is saving some money and also still get where you want to go and eat mama's good food at home. That's, no one can take off that one. I just want to put that, emphasis one more time. I know I had 2 daughters. I know they have gone through some struggles, but they compromised. I gave the same advice to them. One took it, one didn't. That's okay. But I want to sincerely say this. I know we don't have any committee meetings since the last time, but we have a couple of committee meetings coming next week. That is an excitement. Budget subcommittee meeting, CTE, and safety as well. And also, as a part of the safety committee meeting, when I took that in last December, January, it is so happened, the FBI Citizens Academy came and I applied. They took me, into their academy. And the same way, Metro Fire, they first time did their academy. There is so much our kids can learn, that Metro Fire. I'm learning it. I'm going to build some relationship to bring it to our school district. And safety is that, priority for me. And in closing, this is what, I want to request. I know this didn't came to our board meeting, or this is not our board policy. Mr. Swanson and our executive team, there is a right reason. I was a 5th grade math teacher before, I came to this country. There is a right reason all the studies and our teachers and our unions, administration supports to take out the placement test in 5th grade. I'm not going to deny on that all the research, but there are some smart kids. We got to challenge them. And they have been preparing mentally for over the time. So my only request is communicating, in such a way, whether we can put this stopping the 5th grade performance test from next school year. That way we can communicate everybody more freely in advance, and all the good things the kids are going to get. Think about it. I know, again, this is not the board vote it came to. It is through from the administration. This is my sincere request. Now you see the parents are coming here. One school at a time, they are trying to tell their kids, you don't have the placement test. That's why the parents are coming. I just want to represent, that sector of the community as well, at large, everybody. So let's challenge the kids, those bright kids, give them a bright future. Thank you again.
All right, thank you, sir. Board Member Laird.
I have just a short report. I've been to a couple track meets. Vista's been showing up and killing it out there. So congratulations to the Vista Eagles. They've been coming in first on a lot of races. And it's cool when we can also have two of our schools competing at the same time too. So also watching the Cordova Lancers, and they are doing a great job too. And to Van's point, I was actually looking at the numbers of athletes, and we have a significant increase this last year on athletic participation at Cordova High. So want to thank all the coaches and the administration over there for really like getting the kids engaged over there. I think it's like up like around 80 to 90 kids. So pretty significant improvement on our numbers there. Went with Superintendent Swanson to this Rancho Cordova City Council meeting when they authorized their commitment to our reading resolution. So wanted to thank them for that, and are excited about like this whole initiative of reading, and it really just feels like everyone's kind of wrapping around it at the same time. And so I think our like continued commitment to that is going to get us where we really need to be. And that's it. Lots of committee meetings next week. So yep. So I'll see if I get any homework done, but I don't think so.
Right, thank you, ma'am. Board Member Lofthouse?
I do not have anything to report tonight, except it is also my son's 6th birthday tonight. So happy birthday to Celia and happy birthday to my son, Kai.
All right, awesome. And I will try to make it quick. Congratulations again to Mills Middle School on their presentation with HRS. And also, thank you, Mr. Peterson, who's not here, but showcasing Women's Heritage Month. Kudos to Mangini Ranch. Keep in mind, next month is Arab American Heritage Month, so I look forward to recognizing them. Just today, our president signed an executive order dismantling the Department of Education. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I will be meeting with my colleagues with CSBA, and we are going to be having a real deep conversation of what that means to our students here in California. I'm going to say this, I remain positive, and I think the state of education in the state of California is going to be just fine. But once I get more information, I will share with this board. But it is serious, and the future of our kids is serious, and we need to do what we can to ensure that all students have a proper education. So I'm just going to say that. And then Cordova High has their production of Hayes Town. It's a teen edition or something like that. So I look forward to going to that. And also Folsom does have a production as well. I can't remember the name, it escapes me. But I will be going to that as well. And then if there is nothing else for the order, I will close this meeting in memory of Paul Richards. May he rest in peace.
Future agenda items?
Yes, sir.
You want me on that, or board president?
No, you. Advanced planning.
Yeah, advanced planning. So next board meeting, just a reminder, it wasn't on our original calendar, but we have a board governance study session scheduled for Thursday, April 3rd from 5 until 8. And then our regular board meeting will be on April 10th. And then we have the 12-month board calendar attached there. And then suggested future agenda items. Is there any for the good of the order?
I don't have anything new to add. I'm just wondering, might there be an opportunity to move the middle school math conversation a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I think Dr. Huber, we had talked about earlier this week about coming to April. So our next regular board meeting, we'll have that conversation April 10th.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. It is 7:30 or 7:38. I don't have my glasses on. If there's nothing else for the good of the order, I will adjourn this meeting.